Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to ET Drone Home Gaming and the broadcast tonight for Tyler Daniels Racing and the Next Gen Cup Series here at Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight. Playoff race number 5 first race of the round of 8, where guys are going to be looking to get a good finish, put themselves in a position to get to the Final Four championship race here in 2 weeks. As always, we got Josh Kelleher co-hosting tonight. How's it going, Josh?
Oh, Ethan, glad to see and be with you. Even the dogs are happy to be with you tonight. I'm tired. Tired. It was a long weekend, boy, I'll tell you that. But I'm doing well. Glad to be here for another week, another weekend night of Tyler Daniels Racing and the Next Gen Series. Playoffs rolling around. Got the guys out on the track, taking some practice laps and stuff, which is good. I know some of the guys are probably arms are a little bit jello after the 24 hours at Daytona for the Rolex, but a lot of people showing up tonight, which is good. It's good to see you as always.
And as you guys already noticed that, we're switching things up tonight. We're going to try out the vertical scoring tower tonight versus the ticker going across the top of the screen, just to be able to provide a better idea where more people are situated throughout the field. I know that ticker only shows us 5 cars at a time, so versus here we can see that we got 17 guys so far that you're able to see all at once. So
yeah, you're more than welcome to let us know which one you like better. And
we've already got Daniel from DEP Racing already chiming in saying that he likes it better, so good to know. Thanks for the input. And if we get a lot of these guys to give us their custom numbers, we can get that added to that scoring tower instead of using the generic iRacing numbers. One thing
Sharon
we do want to
Hey, Sharon.
We want to note that for some reason Jorge Rincon is in the 28 car tonight with a black and red Budweiser paint scheme. You'll see right there. That is not Jim Downham. That's Jorge. Not sure how that little mix-up happened, but Jim Downham is right here in his normal paint scheme here, but it's got the number 9 on it. Again, not quite sure what happened, and normally it's just because Jorge was told iRacing that he wanted 28 to be his number, and he got in here first, and the way iRacing does it is it's first come, first serve, so.
Is Jorge normally 9? Normally it's normally 9. I don't even remember what his number is. That's okay. We'll go by names. Everybody knows who their favorite drivers are. You'll be able to still cheer them on and keep an eye on them and tabs on the tower on the left-hand side. I like the tower, actually. Shows how it moves up and down when people are passing each other, so that might be a better feel. I like it. Dan is also saying that Trading Paints is having some issues right now, too. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. So he may have a little bit more insight. Does a lot of graphics and paint schemes and wraps for a lot of drivers, so
yeah,
he's on Trading Paints more often than we are.
They've had several things going on. It's always a tough time of the year when you've got the Daytona 24 and they got all these people trying to get paint schemes loaded and everything. So stuff tends to get a little funky around this time of year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the 24 and then the Daytona event coming up soon too. Some of the fast times. Lonnie Nixon out there. The fastest lap. Jeremy Gaiman throwing down the second fastest. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so I can see it. Anybody's wondering if you can hear the dog. If anybody's wondering, it's a corgi, a little corgi shepherd mix, and he's a loudmouth. They're normally usually really quiet during the broadcast too. Make an embark. Anyway, Lonnie Mixon in the Harley Davidson sponsored Chevy Chevrolet number 58. Or is that Lonnie? We got 258. Is that a 56? The Richards? What is that? I'm so sorry I can't read that.
Well, the Harley Davidson is Lonnie Mixon in the 58.
It is Lonnie, right? Okay. Thank you for the clarification on that.
So everyone's gonna have to forgive me real quick. I do need to make a adjustment.
Hey, these things go. Don't worry about it. We're still here with you.
I don't have to leave the screen. You all still be able to see, but now that we're trying the vertical tower instead tonight, that there's one thing that I need to make fit right, so that way everyone can read everything properly, of course.
Oh, that's okay. We got a couple cars here that are testing lines out, going down the backstretch and in the turns, and learning how each other drafts off one another. So, no big deal. No big deal. As we're still taking a look at Lonnie Mixon, and that's a Ford. Oh my gosh, I called it a Chevy before. Ford Mustang. Sorry, Lonnie. One of my brothers in arms this past weekend here, but he's running the 58 Ford Mustang. Harley Davidson, number 58. Here, Team TDR. Right behind him, we got Bob Berlew and his Toyota Camry, number 66. And one of our friends from up north, A.
Just like that, we're good to go. Didn't want to have that the driver details blocking the scoring tower, of course.
Oh, good adjustment. That's great. Got Sharon fighting the flu right now. She's trying to stay awake for the whole race. Well, don't do the race going, so forget here to have the flu. Leave it on as some white noise. Take some. Right, dehydrated. A lot of love and get well wishes from us here at ET Drone Home and Rush 73 TDR and everybody here. Get well soon.
So see, Dan was saying something about, but it says 38. So are you referring to Jorge's car? Well, Josh, I'd say now's as good a time as any. We'll spill some news that the broadcast team is going to be expanding. And as I get that, Josh is letting me know that he's having some internet issues, so he's going to get that reset and he'll be back. But I'll go ahead and start talking about that anyway. So obviously Josh has been involved with the broadcast team with me, and Lonnie Mixon, who we were just watching a few minutes ago. Not currently on the track right now, but there he is there in that 58 car. He's decided that he would like to help out as well. So he's been gracious enough to use his own funds to get the software on his computer, and has gotten Josh linked up on his subscription as well, and between the two of them they'll both be able to run broadcasts now. Still going to be on the same channel, nothing new in that regard, but there may be times where you hear just those two guys instead of me, and then maybe I'll be out there on the track racing while those guys are broadcasting, for example. Gives me some new opportunities to get out there and race instead of always being in the booth. Not that I dislike being up here in the booth, but you know that we all want to race as much as possible too. So definitely appreciate that from Lonnie, and I'm sure they're going to do great with it. It'll be a little bit of a learning curve. There's a lot of buttons and things that have to be learned in order to get things going, but I wasn't perfect at it myself when I got started, so and it could open up opportunities for broadcasts as well on other nights instead of just Sundays, so something to look forward to. Going to be some time involved in helping them get everything situated and get them comfortable with it, so it won't be this season in these last couple races, but maybe when the next season starts up, they'll be up and ready to go by then. Hey Ginger, the two TDR teams did manage to finish their 24-hour races. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for the team that I was with. I'll be looking forward to the next event for sure. Coming down to the last 20 seconds of practice. Benjamin Richards currently with the fastest time in that number 56 with 30.15. Alright, so qualifying is going to start here. Everyone's going to get their 10 minutes to put down 2 laps. Yeah, absolutely can set trading paints. Do that 1 sec and then we will be right back.
All right.
Alright, I'm trying to get trading paints reset real quick. Alright, we're back. Hopefully it reset. And it may take a little bit. It might have to refresh again, but we'll see what happens. Josh is back.
I am. I am here. I think that hopefully corrected it. I'm still doing a couple things here on my end to make sure everything's okay. But I am back with you all. Apologies about that. It happens. Got Owen Lax laying down a real hot time there, 31.29.
I need to do one more thing actually, so just if you all just bear with me just a moment. Alright, another little thing taken care of, so
I'm not gonna blame aliens, but I don't know. I was having some some internet issues even before
oh
we
no,
were
this
going
this
live on
this
the
was
broadcast with downloading things.
this was
Okay, everything's good.
self-inflicted, and it wasn't an issue. It's just a just something I forgot to do. That's all.
Okay, as long as we're good.
But yeah, we're good.
All right, you're good. You're safe. That's all that matters. My internet's still checking out okay. It's actually a little bit slower from when I checked it beforehand. So.
All right, well we got a little over 2 minutes left, so we're gonna go over our points real quick. Current standings here is you can see both the red and the yellow drivers have been eliminated. The red was those that didn't make it to the round of 12. The yellow is those that did not make it to this round, which is the round of 8. And everybody here in the white is still in, and everyone's got the same number of points here with 1,200. And we'll be keeping an eye on that, obviously. Those 8 playoff drivers that are still eligible: Ty Bostic, Dale Weiser, Ryan Walter, Jeremy Gaiman, Chuck McDonald, Jim Downham, Bob Berlew, and Dale Power. 4 of those guys are going to make it to the championship race at the conclusion of next week's race. So those are your playoff drivers to watch. So we got Owen Lax right now, currently on the pole, unless somebody decides to run a quicker lap, but so far that is not the case. So we got Brian Boyd racing tonight, is that what I'm saying?
Where do you see that? Something pop up that I'm not seeing? Yeah, see, Trading Paints is really weird tonight.
Well, it's the 78, and it says Boyd on the windshield.
Well, Lax is the 78. Do we have 2 78s?
Well, 78 on the car.
Yeah.
And he's in 16th position right now. His name is the name that's coming through on iRacing, so. Unless something is There we're getting confirmation. It is Brian. That is awesome to see Brian back out here. We got to fuss with him for not letting anybody know, keeping it a secret.
I'm just gonna come right out and just because everybody knows Josh here. I'm very blunt, very straightforward, and I'm just gonna come out and let you know. I just messaged him, and what are you doing? Um, so maybe we can get some confirmation here in a few moments. We may not.
Oh, we've
Oh.
we've gotten it. It's him.
Okay, okay, understood. Yeah, it's Brian Boyd. Brian, um, be careful. Love you. Have fun. Good to see you.
All right, so starting order tonight, Josh.
Yeah, give me 1 second because modern technology and I had to say something really quick. Yeah, so on the starting grid, P1, Owen Arca breaks lax in the 78 little personal inside joke with Parker Motorsports. P2, Joseph Causey, Frontline Esports, pulling the second spot in the number 8. Benjamin Richards with VRX Motorsports, number 56 in P3. Tracy Wooten, Mid South, pulling number 27 in the P4 spot. Ryan Walters, DP number 5 spot in the 49 car. Chuck McDonald, one of our friends from up north, in the 04, pulling in P5. Sorry, P6. P7 is Bob Burlew in the 66 Toyota. Jeremy Gaiman, I got the pleasure to know him a little bit more this weekend, running in the 09 and P8. Mission 22 Motorsports. Good to see Brian Boyd in the 78 pulling in P9. Mike Matherly P10 in the number 21 with the Jerk Racing team. Jim Downham, good friend here, Havoc Racing Syndicate Motorsports, number 11 spot in the number 9 machine. Derek Donna, look at that. Great qualifying spot, the 12th spot. 215 in the DEP Racing Machine. Ty Bostic in P13 in the number 22. Dana Shepard with DEP Racing as well, pulling in the 14th spot in the number 44. We got Mr. Powers, another one of our fellow friends from up north in the 37th, pulling up the P15, position 15 spot for you. A lot of people don't know what that means. Position 16th. In that 16th spot, we got Corey Enyart in the 97 machine. Jorge Rincon in the number 28. I know a lot of people are used to seeing Jim Downham there again. If you haven't, there's a little bit of a mix-up going on, but that's okay. Jorge Rincon, P17 in the Goodweiser Motorsports machine. 19, we got Marty Brown, LSUA Esports in the number 41 machine. Robert Trask in the 17. Pulling in P20, Brian Colwell in the 047 in the P21, and Gary Wright in the 22nd spot for GW Racing in that number 6 machine. So quite the turnout tonight. Even had a surprise turnout tonight with Brian Boyd making a surprise entrance and return here to TDR Racing. You haven't seen him in a while. Again, wishing him the best tonight. And I hope everybody's grateful for the great drivers. Ethan, you want to go over our stats and everything for the race?
Yeah, so it's a 1.52 mile D-shaped oval, 102 degree track temperature with 78 degree air temp, 125 laps, 60 to 65 laps of fuel. Is going to be around what they have to work with. Pit road 45 miles an hour, unlimited sets of tires, and everyone's getting one fast repair. Pace car is going to dip off here, and we're going to be going green.
The green flag's out. Shake, rattle, and roll. We're going racing here at Hotlanta. 125 laps with Tyler Daniels Racing.
Benjamin Richards just did not go at all.
Yeah, it was a bad start there. I don't know if he missed the gear. He missed the gear, but the 8 car was able to take a good jump there and put a little bit of distance on him. But drafting is a factor here at Atlanta, so look for the lines to start forming. As we're already looking at it, the gap's already closed, and Ryan Walters is going to be taking over that spot. Is there? Now we got to fight for the battle too on lap 4. Looks like he doesn't want any part of that, and he's just going to drop to the high side and let them all go by and shuffle on back and take the safe route. That's something that I would do as well here, especially out of Atlanta, because it races differently. It's not like a normal super speedway. It's not technically a super speedway, but with all the changes that they made here with the reconfiguration, it races like a super speedway with that flair of an intermediate track. So myself, I'd pull into the back mid-pack around that area and stay safe for a little while and probably make my moves later on in the race. But a lot of people do like to get into the front, as we still have some back and forth between that first and second place. And Brian Boyd has made his way to the front, wasting no time as well, Ethan.
Yeah, absolutely. We got 3. Look, borderline a 3 wide. Brian and Joseph Causey into the wall together. That's gonna bring out our first caution. As you can see here, just really tight racing. We'll take a look at this from behind.
That intermediate track racing right there, like super speedway. Well, you got to remember it's also intermediate too.
You can see it looks
wide
like
enough.
Chuck maybe was starting to try to maybe block the run, and Brian was moving up a little bit.
Oh yeah, and there was just not enough room right there. Tough break. It's okay. They can get some fixing and get back up there. Doesn't look like it affected them too much.
Hopefully the stream's working for everybody. I noticed that it was doing a little bit of lagging, but get good old technology to thank for when it wants to work and when it doesn't.
No worry about that. All right, I think I got my iRacing to come back up now. I think everything's going to work okay, so. All right, we're good. 6 laps in, we've seen quite the action trying to get to the front there.
There's been a lot of big movers already just within the first 5 laps. I mean, Chuck McDonald up 5 spots, Jim Downham up 8 spots, Ty Bostic 8 spots, Dale Power 8 spots, Robert Trask 9 spots. And then, of course, you got a lot of big losers in these first couple laps. Owen Lax down 11 spots, Benjamin Richards 13, Joseph Causey, who was involved in that incident, 17 spots now, Brian Boyd 11 spots. There's going to be a lot of up and downs in this race. I mean, races just like a Talladega or a Daytona. You can get to the front really quick. You could also go to the back really quick.
Taking notice, the 215 Derek Donna, he's moved up some spots as well. He's running in the top 10 right now in front of his uncle Dana Shepard in the 44 machine. He's running in the 10th spot. So there's also some names that you normally don't see in the top 10 right now as well. And it's always good to see fresh names getting their groove on, running their lines and getting up there. So good on you, Derek, for making your appearance in the top 10. Keep it smooth, looking good. As we had a bunch of those cars did go into the pits, possibly grab some required repairs, optionals if it was bad enough. Probably pull the backup car off the hauler to continue on here. It's kind of early to want to use a fast repair. Still a lot of racing to go, so a lot of them might have the mentality of get it fixed over time, or maybe it wasn't that bad and you could just sit it there for the couple laps. So we'll get that worked on. They'll get back out here and try to make their way to the front. When we go back to green, it looks like we'll have Chuck McDonald leading that to the green flag.
pace car will dive down this time. Chuck McDonald, the leader, has control of the restart. Chuck McDonald, Ryan Walter running the high lane, Jim Downham, Ty Bostic on the bottom. We got Ginger Parent in the chat asking if iRacers are superstitious or do they have any rituals in Lucky Gear. I can't say that I do. Maybe there's some out there that do, but I certainly don't have any gear or type of ritual or anything like of that nature that
yeah, maybe I might not have any rituals, definitely not any like rituals, but I do have. Now some people will use like there's sim racing shoes, like you can buy shoes for sim racing stuff like that. I use socks. Like some people like bare feet. I don't know, to me that's kind of gross, but so I like socks, but I use, and it's the same pair, I wash them all the time. They're trampoline socks, and I use the same ones. And especially, I had like a couple different pairs, but now I only use the ones that I won my first league race with. So, kind of a superstition, but that's definitely some gear that I continuously use and only use when I'm sim racing. That's my trampoline sock from a trampoline park. You know, they got the grip on the bottom, almost like hospital socks. I'm sure you've seen those before, Ethan. Like, they have like the little grippy stuff on the bottom, and they're just socks that you put on, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I use a pair that I won my first league race in grassroots, like the first league race ever. So I still use those. Oh, people getting a little sideways there. So I still use those. Now, some people will only use like one pair of gloves for sim racing. I have 4 different pairs, and it depends on what track I'm at, what car I'm using. And then I also have different, in the sim racing world, your steering wheel isn't really called a wheel, it's called a hub. So I have a couple different hubs that I use for different, like road racing is one hub, but my NASCAR oval racing is a different hub that I'll put on my wheelbase. So I do have different gear that I use for different tracks and different things that I feel that gives me a better performance or makes me feel more comfortable at what I'm doing. For instance, this past weekend with Tyler Daniels and Team Havoc Syndicate racing for the Daytona, I used my GT wheel, so it's a very smaller wheel, less rotation to round, and the paddles, the shifter paddles, are a lot bigger, so you can pretty much shift from anywhere on the wheel and not worry about missing your shift. As opposed to my NASCAR wheel, they're very small shifters that I don't even use, and it's a bigger wheel, and I feel that's better for oval racing than it is for road racing. So everybody's got their feel and their different gear, but I do use different gear. So that's a great question, Ginger.
Oh, look at Jim Downham ended up falling way back there.
I noticed that somebody, while I was going through my different gears, that someone did get a little sideways and loose. I wasn't, maybe I'm wondering if that was Jim.
He's pretty much fallen. He's all the way back to 15th. He was running up there competing for the lead.
Yeah. Well, I got the race chatter on, so I definitely like to listen to a little bit of the race chatter while we're broadcasting, so I have a better idea of what's going on. I haven't heard him key up and say anything yet. Most things I'm hearing is about some blinking going on, but in sim racing and in iRacing, blinking, a lot of people do complain about it. That's a part of sim racing. Like, it's a part of what we do. Like, you'll see some cars blink and then disappear and come back as much as a nuisance, or it may annoy you or whatever it may do to your mentality or psychological moment, but that's a part of racing. It's part of sim racing, so sometimes you have to deal with it. That's the only chatter I really heard.
Oh,
Oh,
and
we got a wreck.
it looked like Brian was trying to clear Dale Power and just did not have enough room to get up yet.
They're still wrecking on this.
And if he used his fast repair, that's probably going to end his night, unfortunately.
A lot of cars involved in that one. They were still wrecking afterwards.
We'll come
There was
back and
wrecking
see
going
if
on
we
after the
can't
wreck.
get a couple different angles of this. So we'll look at this chopper angle here. You'll see that. Oh, it's Tracy Wooten, not Dale Power. I apologize. Um, Brian Boyd and Tracy Wooten running side by side here, and Brian, I think, was just wanting to get back up in front of him. Whether or not Tracy came down, no, Tracy did come down. Yeah, that wasn't on Brian.
No.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
really unfortunate. I don't know if Tracy was just trying to get behind Brian as quick as he could to get draft going again, or I'm not sure
Oh,
what
yeah. And
exactly
then,
what was happening there, but
yeah, yeah, there was Brian with
really,
a base.
really unfortunate. I mean, just to get caught up in two incidents that quick.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to do some evasive maneuvers and got hit up in the other, but his
I mean,
taking a look at his car,
we
he's
can
got some heavy
see
damage. His right front
further
is
back
locked
is
up.
Bob Burlew getting tagged right there. Mike Matherly near avoidance miss right there. Looked like from Bryson Colwell, and even further here we got Jorge Rincon. A lot of stuff going on in that wreck. So we have had a lot of guys that did pit just now. Chuck McDonald, Ryan Walter, Lonnie Mixon, Tracy Wooten, Corey Enyart, Bob Burlew, Marty Brown, Dana Shepard, and the list continues behind them. Like Ty Bostic, Robert Trask, Bryson Colwell did not pit. Ty Bostic's going to go to the lead as we get ready to go back to green. I also want to throw something out in chat real quick to see if anybody might have an answer for me. So we've got a webcam room, and we got 3 people in here that we want to showcase. I know one of them, of course, is Jim. Another one is Owen Lax, but we also have a third person in here. And I have not seen this person in our webcam room before, so I don't have a name to put on the face. So if anybody happens to know who might be in that webcam room, that way when I throw them up there, I make sure I put the right name there. Or I'll just throw that up there with somebody like Jim's name and make Jim think he's a lot younger than he is.
Green flag's going again. Dropped it. Huge jump. Close quarter racing a little while ago for sure. Let's see what happens on this green flag after that caution. Everybody's staying a little bit timid. Or are we going to be forceful and get our way back up to the front? Time will tell. It could be Dana Shepard with that third camera.
Well, this is a completely different camera angle, and it looks like a different person, so I don't believe this is Dana.
Okay. All right.
Dana is not the same camera angle that I'm accustomed to seeing with Dana, so.
Right on. Okay. No, Ginger, it's not Dana. We got an eye on Dana. We got Dana and we got Jim. Eliminated. It's not Lonnie. Is it Lonnie?
No, this is not Lonnie. We'll get it figured out. We'll put in a request with Jim when we get an opportunity.
Absolutely.
One thing also that we haven't talked about is that red line is out of bounds. Yeah. Just like a yellow line typically would be at a super speedway. So those guys have been told not to go past below that yellow line, even on the front stretch.
Yeah, you can gain some advantage by going underneath that, especially on these tracks here, by going under that yellow line. You gain a couple seconds. You keep doing that over time, and you're gaining position. So, but if you also, in the same rope, come back up, someone else is there, you're going to cause a big wreck. So, prefer that. Go under that red line. Same thing as it would be in real life. At Daytona, Talladega, and at Atlanta.
I think Derek Donna's had a problem.
Yeah, there was some chatter about that.
I'm going to take a look here.
Derek, what I'm hearing is
in that 215 on the outside. Oh yeah, we definitely had contact there between the two, and
him and Mike Matherly looks like. Well, he saved it. He was able to save it. It doesn't look like he had too many damage, not much damage.
Got it back going. I think that they probably could have thrown a caution for that one, I would say, but it's all driver discretion typically in TDR. You know, it's just.
Well, luckily he didn't gain any damage.
We've got another car that lost a hood somewhere, trying to see exactly who that was.
The 97. The 90s looks like the 97 of. It's just there's a glitch, but the fender keeps flying off of it. But
yeah, I mean he's running on the apron. Obviously, yeah. There's definitely a iRacing glitch going right there, where the front right fender just keeps coming off and coming back on. It just doesn't quite want to separate itself from that car. But
iRacing's tired from the Rolex 24. It looks like Corey Enyart. Yeah, Corey Enyart, that 97. Taking a look at the lead. Still got Chuck McDonald there on leading. Ronnie Mixon running up right behind him with Dana Shepard in that 44. Ryan Walters. Ty Bostic moving into the 5 spot now, so he's making his run back to the front. He's a strong competitor here.
Well, he had started at first on that last restart, so he's actually lost a couple spots.
And your parent wondering if we could get a police sketch artist to figure it out for. That's funny. Well, Ginger, I don't know. You guys out there might know someone who could help us with that. So if you have any ideas, someone who might want to Maybe we could give them a little quick look and they could try to do a composite sketch. No, we'll get down to the bottom of the mystery cam, in-car cam. We'll get down to the bottom. Hi, Bostic, as I was just mentioning, making his run back to the front in his Bluey sponsored car. I'm trying to see if the dogs can see it. Fun fact about Bluey, it's in those colors, so dogs can watch it too. And a lot of people know that. They might be coming up on a lap car here. They're coming up on Jim Downham. So everybody go high. Jim will stay low, going down into that turn. Sorry if you hear me yawning. I'm still a bit tired from the 24 this past weekend. Sure, a couple of the guys here as well. Jim Downham ran with him. Lonnie Mixon. We had Adam Ritchie. We had Tommy Hill. We had a bunch of great guys running for 24 hours this past weekend. And we got. Oh, everybody saved it. It looked like Colwell had gotten into Dana Shepard a little bit. It looks like everybody saved it.
That was really close.
Could have been really big, but everybody was able to maintain, which is good. He'll just get back on the trail. Oh, he looks like he'll be dipping down. 47 dipping down. And towed to the pits. It's a good group of guys to run with. I learned a lot about endurance racing this past weekend. It's something that was very new to me, but I know I've been wanting to run 24 for a couple of years, so I really started buckling down about a month ago and honing my craft and learning things about the track and the car. A really great run by both teams. I believe Team 1 finished 19th. Our team finished 23rd in the 24-hour race. Not everybody on the lead lap. Believe it or not, in both of those teams and both of those sessions that we were running in, only the lead, the winner was on the lead lap. Everybody from second on back were laps down. But a great event to run. Can't wait for it next year and all the other endurance races coming up this year with TBR and Team Syndicate, Havoc Racing Motorsports. It's gonna be fun.
Riding along with Jim, and he is a lap down, currently in the 18th position, so he's just trying to situate himself to be the first car lap down.
Yellow can come out really easily here, so it's a good chance that if he doesn't get tied up and caught up in all that, he would be able to get his lap back. So if there is a yellow flag here, we would be able to see him get his lap back. Let's take a look on board, in-car cam with Jim Downham, Ocean City, New Jersey.
Chuck McDonald's still out front. Lonnie Mixon doing a really good job running second.
Yeah. Ryan Walters in the established pit. Chevrolet following in the third spot. Dana Shepard tucked in behind him, staying there in the fourth. Jeremy Gaiman in the 09. One of the guys running this past weekend in the 24. Adam Ritchie involved. Great group of guys. It was a bunch of fun.
sure Lonnie's not too concerned about getting by Chuck, just what I know about Lonnie.
Well, yeah, everything I've learned about Lonnie, he's just happy to be there right there in that second spot right now. So good on you, Lonnie. Good run. Keep it going. Stay tucked in and mind your P's and Q's.
Oh, he's actually
taking a look on the inside.
He's not going to have any help, though, so he's probably going to lose spots. Nobody wanted to go with him.
Just as you say that, he's going to get shuffled right to the back.
Well, Ginger, there's your broadcaster curse.
I was just reading that. That's funny.
We went from 2nd to 6th.
With the draft, he can try to make his way back up there.
A lot of cars that have just lost a lot of ground further back here. I mean, Ty Bostic's ahead of this group, running all by himself. And you got Marty and Robert Trask.
Those few cars can get hooked up together and just get nose to tail. They can make a run for that front pack and try to make a, more of a run for the front there. Something if they can figure it out between themselves.
And we got a pack back here. A couple guys still on the lead lap between Joseph Causey, Jorge Rincon, Mike Matherly. Then you got Dale Power and Derek Donna. Both of those are on the back end of that 5-car pack, but they're not on the lead lap.
If they can just get linked up, stay there, then they can move back up to the front. Because I think the leaders in that pack are about doing the same thing. They're coming up on the lap car. The 21, Mike Mallory, involved in an incident not too long ago with the 215. He's staying down low there. Allow the leaders to pass on by on the high side nice and clean. So I'm sure the lead car is absolutely appreciating that. Not as close quarters as it was before, as everybody's single filed, not trying to make a move on the inside or the outside of everybody for fear of losing the spots there. So everybody's just playing it smart right now. Fortunately, makes for a boring type of race, but everybody's just playing it cool now. So once we see some green flag pit stops going, I'm sure that'll mix things up a little bit there. Strategy will come into play, so then you'll start having to wonder and think about what's going on. So we are putting a lap down on Brian Boyd and his machine there. He's back on the track, coming back out to find some laps. And Brian Boyd, mentioning him now, one of our many servicemen that race here. We have him and Ryan Walter, another one of our servicemen, still enlisted. Our military and a lot of veterans here too, so it's a good thing.
Props to Brian for sticking it out. I mean, obviously he's not going to be in any position to be able to win, but hung out on pit road, got his car fixed, and now he's back out there.
You know, through some inside reporting and my beat reporters and things like that, it sounds like he was missing some of the action here. And racing and things like that. So, good to see him. It was definitely a surprise. I'm going back through the YouTube chats from when I was down on the internet. It looked like a couple people may have known about it. I'm not gonna. At least one person. And Really cool. Going through some of the lineups here, and then in the running order, looks like we did have some disconnects.
Owen Lax had a lot of internet issues tonight. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, he was very strong. A very strong card team to have here tonight. Ben Richards. Bryson Caldwell. Ed Fiedler. Yeah, even I had some internet issues too in the beginning here, so I can definitely feel and empathize and sympathize with anybody when that happens. But when you're racing, it's the worst thing to ever happen. It really is, because I blinked in races before, and it's never a good feeling because you're trying to figure out how to fix it while you're maintaining the line, and you're trying to do this and that and figure out what's going on. And sometimes you lose what's called the upload packet. And disconnects you and it doesn't let you back in. So it's unfortunate when that does happen. Chuck McDonald, our friend from up north in Canada, still leading here at TDR Tyler Daniels Racing League Next Gen Series on ET Drone Home Gaming. Ryan Walters in the 49, still maintaining that second spot with the 44, Dana Shepard. Falling in right behind him in the third spot. Fourth is Jeremy Gaiman in the 09, and Bob Lou is still sitting fifth in the 66. Lonnie Mixon did drop back. Was sitting there for second for a good while. Looked like he wanted to try to make a run for the lead, but it got shuffled out and then back into the sixth spot with Ty Bostic catching up to that pack in the seventh spot. And then farther back in the pack, you got Marty Bound, Robert Trask, Tracy Wooten, and Joseph Causey trying to make their way up there to them to bring the packs back together and possibly get some more side-by-side racing here. A lot of things people do know and don't know, but anything can happen at super speedway racing. Sometimes it's just luck of the draw where you are when the wreck happens and where you come out through that. So anything can still happen. So everybody's just playing safe right now, maintaining their equipment. On board now with Dana Shepard and Ryan Walters. We had a couple front view, back views of that. Dana hailing from Putney, Vermont. Ryan was from down there in Delaware. I like Dana's line. I've been watching him for a few laps. He's very fluid and very smooth when he's running his lines. He doesn't, not too much up and down movement. Even when the two cars in front of him will dip down a little bit, he usually just stays right where he is. He's very smooth and fluid. He doesn't jerk around too much to the left and the right. Looking at the back of Dana Shepard's car on the inboard from Jeremy Gaiman, hometown Akron, Pennsylvania, running a Chevrolet 09. Gives you his on-board look, looking straight out to them. Definitely some distance in between those first pack and that second pack, where they can definitely catch up if they just form up and stay steady.
everybody definitely playing nice, and we know that they last pit all everybody up here in this top pack was at lap 19, and we know that they're going to have about 60 to 65 laps of fuel. So Chuck is definitely burning the most fuel of any of them up there, as he's the leader. I don't think that any of those other guys are running quite full throttle, but I would say we'd be looking somewhere in the next maybe 20 laps. We'll start seeing some pit stops. Unless we get a caution, of course. You can take a, we've been watching this front pack and take a look back, see what's going on with some of these other guys. Ty and Marty Brown there in 7th and 8th. Brian Boyd hanging out right behind them. Jim Downing behind Brian. Derek Donna there sitting still on the bottom there at the pits. I think he may have tried to maybe get to the pits and spun out in the process. I'm not quite sure what just happened here, but
there's definitely a wiggle I saw on the last end of that, the trail end of that, when the camera cut away.
then we still have some other guys still in the lead lap, even further back. Joseph Causey, Jorge Rincon. Got a request to look a little bit more at Ryan Walters' paint scheme.
I was just about to say
the Devil's Pit.
Wonder if there's something on there, an Easter egg he wants us to try to find. Dan does that sometimes with his paint schemes. You do one, and he does a paint scheme, and then he'll hide an Easter egg in there somewhere. There's something that stands out that you can't like depict right away. So that's a sharp looking car, that 49 Devil's Pit. See a hint of sparkle. There's no rhino lining there. Devil's Pit, Mission 22, DEP paints. Sharp looking machine.
Looks like we got somebody in the pits. Trying to get a good idea who that might be.
You said there's somebody in the pits?
And the reason that I was looking is because, if I'm not mistaken, that's our mystery camera man right there.
Who would that be? The 37?
This gentleman right here, we're gonna throw your name. We're gonna take a chance here, and we're gonna throw your name up there. We're gonna throw your face out there, and hopefully I'm right. And if I'm not, then you all will just have to. You'll have to
Make
get
your
on me
guess.
for being wrong, but. Hopefully I'm right, and hopefully that is Ty.
And we found our mystery can.
I've been wanting to figure out who it is, and I was looking at his camera, and I saw that he was on pit road, sitting still. So I was like, all right, well, if I figure out who's on pit road, then I know who it is.
Yeah, my guess would be either it's the 22 Bostic or the 37, because the 37 had pulled away from.
I saw him, you know, went down there, got his pit stop, got himself a drink and a snack. You know, and if it's not Ty, then Ty, get yourself a camera out here, and then we'll put you on somebody else's name to make up for it. I think there's a pretty good chance I'm right, though. So this is actually putting Joseph Causey one lap down. As well as Corey Enyart. But we still know that we're going to be seeing some pit stops here very soon. Got numerous cars back here fighting. All these guys are not on the lead lap. Still pretty tight racing though between all of them. We definitely want to watch these guys now, as they're going to be coming into pit within the next 5 laps. I'm sure that they're probably coordinating with each other somewhat, because you don't want to be the guy that comes in by yourself and comes out by yourself and you don't have any draft help. Here they come. Ooh, Lonnie locking up the brakes. Oh, we definitely got some beating and banging. Big push was done to Jeremy. It'd be interesting to see if that put him over the speed limit there. We're going to watch this race off of pit road. Chuck's still able to come out first. But Jeremy Gaiman got by Ryan Walter. So a little bit of a mix-up there for position.
I'm sorry, I was sitting here talking the whole time and my mic was on mute. Showing Bob Burlew still in the lead here, but he hasn't come in. So that will be relinquished once he decides to take his green flag pit stop.
And we know they'll be able to get to the end of the race on fuel at this point.
Listening to the radio chatter, looks like the 66 Bob Burlew will be pitting in and relinquish that lead, which would then put Tracy Wooten as the leader until he comes in.
I know there's a lot of guys in the field would absolutely love to see a caution come out.
Mm-hmm. .27 reports will be coming in on this time by, so that will relinquish the lead, and Chuck McDonald will pick the first spot back up.
Joseph Causey there on the bottom in that 8 car. It's going to go one lap down. He will be in the lucky dog position. But Jorge Rincon just went by Joseph, so he is now in the lucky dog in that number 28 car. I think we're going to see this top these top 3 drivers are going to take it real easy. I don't think they're going to be in any rush. I definitely think if you're Joseph, you got to find some way to get by Jorge, so that way you're in the lucky dog position. Or if you found a way to coordinate with each other, you can try to draft and try to both you get by. Just go up there and both of you get your lap back the hard way. You got Brian Boyd back there, you got Marty Brown. Those guys aren't on the lead lap, so take all 4 of them, put them on the bottom. Pretty good chance that they'd go by the top 3.
Being really patient right now, and I can see that in the reason with just a little over 30 laps to go. We'll start seeing some moving going on a little bit later, but everybody's just being very, very patient, thinking about their strategy.
The status of Dana Shepard. Here he is running 4th, but he is all alone. Doesn't have any draft help, unfortunately, so he's going to be just losing a ton of time to those guys.
Yeah, until that other pack there behind him can possibly catch up, and then they can hook up and get to the back with that. It looks like that would be Lonnie Mixon and Bob Burlow. That's one of the unfortunate things of green flag pit sequencing. Sometimes if you hit it wrong, you end up getting left out by yourself.
Here's a move. Here's a potential move for the lucky dog. Joseph was trying to find a way to get by.
These first three cars, first, second, and third place, they're holding strong there. Just biding their time till the end, it looks like. If they get around the 97, Kazi again, clean.
I think maybe to clear up some confusion for Daniel, Dana is still in 4th ahead of those guys. That Jorge and Joseph Causey, they're not on the lead lap. So even though those guys are with that pack, they are not fighting for position up there. I mean, Joseph and Jorge are fighting each other, but they are not fighting anyone else that's up there.
Usually here around this time of the laps where you'll start hearing people start working together to see what they can do to link up and start moving around and see if they can get runs on the cars in front of them. And I think you might seeing that start here relatively soon with drivers linking up and trying to make a run for the to the front. So look for that coming here in very, very shortly, with the laps winding down to the finish. Laps to go here. Anything can happen. Also got a report from the concession stands that the corn dogs and nachos are 50% off. So, a lot of people were excited about that. Eight did take a look on the inside, so it does look like Enyart is going to look to see if he can get around the cone. He's thinking about it. He kept little peeps here and there. Pretty quiet on the comms, but they will be starting to talk to each other real soon, find out which way they're going. They may not, but usually they do. They'll tell you if they're going to run with you. Usually if they say nothing back, they're not worried about the run. But.
I feel like the one person you don't want to be right now is Chuck. Because
yeah, I mean,
you just don't know what these other guys are going to do. And they're certainly not going to tell you.
No, not in those certain spots, but when you get the cars in the mid-pack or in the back, or possibly even trying to fight to get your lap back, you may see people start working together for them. I know Brian Boyd was off the pace. He was running with him for a while, and I noticed that he started a little bit off the pace there. I hope everything's all right in his 78 machine and everything that's going on. Yeah, that's car sparkly. Reminds me of one of those pieces of candy from the 80s that was it was like almost like a triangle but a cone, and it had the different colors in it, the yellow, the red, the green, the blue. Some of you guys might be too young to remember those. If I find a picture, I'll share it. Some of you guys that are old enough, it was a cellophane wrapper. That cellophane wrapper would always get stuck to that little triangle cone-shaped piece of candy like lollipop. Brian Boyd's machine reminds me of.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see these guys making any moves until 5 to 7 to go, most likely. You still got Joseph trying to find a way to get past Jorge there on the bottom.
been very quiet up to this point. So had some action in the beginning, and lull in the action. Everybody stayed single file. People are gonna start, some side by sides gonna start going on here now. I was waiting for this. On the radio, just going back to something that you were saying a little while ago about Chuck being in the lead and not wanting to be there, and Chuck just had made a comment that it's coming, just don't know when. And so that's why I chuckled a little bit. No pun intended there, but it was kind of funny because you had just said that you want to be in that spot there.
I kind of feel like Jeremy Gaiman is starting to test things a little bit more. He's been a little bit closer to his bumper.
Mm-hmm. Taking a look here and there.
Trying to learn a little bit.
See the 78 machine coming into view here. They're going to get around him. You get a view of that kind of like lollipop candy color I was talking about. Really sharp looking car. Really nice, bright. It's got some sparkling in it as well. Look at it, showing 12 laps to go. That last time by. Dan in YouTube's asking if you could pan back to Dana Shepherd. I'm not sure if you had already done that or not. Maybe it might be a little low whack in the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we can take a quick look. Of course, we don't want to miss anything crazy to happen
No,
up here in the
of course
front. Is Dana's now in a little pack there with Lonnie.
Okay.
Looks like that's the only lead lap car in that bunch there.
Right. All right. I think they were wondering because they're probably wondering if he's got any help to try to even get back into to the front there to try to make a run for it. So.
Well, they're 21 seconds behind the front pack, so
yeah,
absolutely will not get there without a caution.
Right. It's under 10 to go. So Chuck McDonald leading that lead pack there. Jalen Gannon tucked in behind him. Ryan Walters in the 49 machine there. We do got a couple lap down cars in the mix there, but they're holding their line and holding strong there. Lead pack. But as it stands, Chuck McDonald's still leading. Jeremy Gaiman in second. Ryan Walters in third. Dana Shepherd in that backpack with the lap down cars in that pack, still in the fourth spot. Lonnie Nixon in fifth. Bob Ridley showing in the sixth spot with Joseph Causey in seventh. Joseph Causey in the eighth car will start the cars that are lap down or more. Jorge Rincon in the eighth spot. Marty Brown in the ninth. Bostic in the 10th as they run right now.
And Joseph did get by Jorge, so he does have the lucky dog spot if something was to happen.
Yeah, sure. If the lead lap the yellow flag comes out and he doesn't get involved in it, he would be the lucky dog candidate to go around his lap back. So I'm sure he's hoping for that right now to even just be in contention for top 10 or if not more. But
Jeremy lost the second spot to Ryan.
Ryan making his move.
And Jeremy also fell back behind both those lap cars, so that's going to make it really difficult now. I think we're going to start to see a bottom lane form here.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking that.
Jeremy went to the bottom, and it looked like Jim was going to go with him, but that was the only help they had, so...
Now they're going to be moving all over. Right. Oh, we got a couple cars in the wall.
Oh, big accident there between
big
Brian and Jim. That's going to bring out a caution. And this is going to change everything. Let's go back and take a look here. See exactly how this came to be. Say Brian, no. I started at first. I thought maybe Brian started to get a little loose, but then I see that there was some other things happening.
Those two lap cars looked like they tagged the wall, and Jim and Brian looks like they checked up and just checked up too much and got into each other, avoiding the other two cars that were in the wall. See right there, yeah. So it looks like Jeremy Gaiman and I can't tell who that
Jorge.
is. Jorge, yeah.
There's a little bit of neck code there actually.
Yeah. So they, in a evasive maneuver, Jim came down. Brian was there. Well, it definitely changes the complexity. Oh yeah, it's going to be a fun last couple laps here because you have a lot of fast cars. And Dana Shepherd breathing a huge sigh of relief, being back up where he basically would need to be in order to be in contention to try to get up to the front. A lot of those cars that were separated from that lead pack are breathing a huge sigh of relief. Now that they're back up there. But I can tell you one person that's not breathing a huge sigh of relief, and that's the 04, Chuck McDonald. He even said it himself a little while ago. He doesn't know when it's coming, but it is coming. And the yellow came out, so it's not what he was referring to. But now they're definitely going to be coming. So he wasn't looking forward to that whatsoever.
No, Derek was not involved in that wreck, Ginger.
No, I think he just went back into the pits to either fuel up, get some tires to try to make a run, and keep a strong run to make the finish. That's what I think he ended up doing.
Brian, I wasn't automatically blaming you. First thing I noticed out of the corner was that you started to get loose. That's where I thought it started, and I quickly saw that it wasn't the case. Nobody throwing immediate things at you.
And shake and bake. They are going back green flag racing here. Chuck did get a little bit of a jump there, but Ryan Walters is going to fall in right behind him, and Dana Shepard's going on the inside, hoping to get a little help there to see if he can make a run to the lead.
He's certainly going to need a lot of it.
He's going to need some help, but he's got some behind him, so to see what's going to happen here in the last 2 laps. They're forming it up at that bottom line.
Dana's going to be side by side with Chuck here as we get to the white flag. All the help's on the top, though.
Chuck McDonald does have a slight lead, about a car length over him, and as Dana Shepard and Ryan Walters are racing side by side. We got some breakout cars trying to form up.
They're wrecking back there. It's going to be between Ryan Walter and Chuck McDonald.
Dana Shepard's still there, though.
Ryan is not going to be able to get there. Chuck McDonald dominating in Atlanta, getting the win. Ryan Walter second. Dana Shepard third.
I thought they were going to have I thought that bottom line was really going to form up, and Dana Shepard was going to get a good push to the end there, but it didn't end up happening. And then that wreck really just sealed it for Chuck, and he was happy to see that as he coasted right to the lead with Ryan not being able to get around him, and no one there for Dana to try to get him up to the lead. But there you go, and have it, folks. Chuck McDonald is your winner here at Atlanta. And the Tyler Daniels Racing Next Gen Series in a playoff race, and man, not a lot of action in between there. The beginning had some action. The end definitely had some action. But Chuck McDonald is your winner. Ryan Walters in second, Dana Shepard in third. And Chuck McDonald runs out of fuel as he's doing his burnout. So, oh man, maybe we can get somebody to give him a push to victory lane there. But he did do that. Brian Boyd taking some burnouts there as well. He's happy to be back happy to be back racing. So we're going to let the drivers cool down a minute and get out of their cars, proverbially, if you will, so to speak, and take their gloves off and stuff. And we'll get some guys in here to interview. But
we'll have to wait and see if we're able to get Chuck in here. So far, no sign of Chuck, but we can get Ryan Walter. Ryan, Josh, and Ethan in the booth. You got us?
Yep.
Ryan, great job tonight getting the P2 finish. Great way to start this round of 8. You know, you definitely want to put yourself in a good spot. I know you kind of felt you weren't able to do that in the round of 12, but you'll be sitting here second in points going into next week's race, the cutoff race, and you'll be sitting really, really good with a chance to go to the championship 4.
Yeah, this race was, well, it's not like any other super speedway. It's a lot more stressful. You got to be a lot more hands-on with the wheel. You got to know what to do, what not to do. Most of the time I was coming off loose out of the turns, and but it was a fun race. Had good help from Paul Vosberg being my spotter and crew chief, making sure stuff was ready, and also working with Dana Shepard, trying to work with him throughout the race, and talking with him throughout the race. It was a fun race, and I'm glad I finished second.
Yeah, it was a great run. I was seeing you taking a look here and there when you were in third place to see, which way they would go and who you might be able to run with. But you did have a really strong run tonight. It was tough there in the beginning, kind of quiet in the middle, but at the end there, you did have what it takes to keep it up and come in with that second spot. A lot of big surprises happening tonight. Did you see Brian Boyd out there? What did you think about that?
Oh yeah, I like seeing Brian out there. I've missed seeing him out there racing and stuff. So it's good seeing him out there. Um, hopefully we could see him more, but I don't know what's going on. So hopefully see him more because I like racing with him, like seeing him out there because I know he likes racing. So
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a surprise for a lot of us here, but and your paint scheme looks sharp. I love that paint scheme. Very sparkly in the light, and you had a great run. I'm glad it was a good week for you. Playoff points are very, very important, and you're advancing on. And I'm rooting for everybody here. I'm glad you got a second place finish. Congratulations.
thanks, man. I it's a tough race. Chuck led most of it, but most of it I was sitting on cruise control, trying not to cause anything through most of the race.
All right, Ryan. Well, congrats again, and good luck. We will see you next week.
All right, see you guys.
Be good. And who we got up
All
next?
right, we got our winner.
Hey, Chuck McDonald. How's that feel, bud?
Let's get a hold of him here. Where'd he go? Did I lose him? He was just there. Chuck, where did you go?
Maybe he disconnected as you were
Chuck,
coming
we
down.
have to pull you in ourselves if you're still there. I saw you hanging out. I was just about to grab you in.
Yeah, I'm not seeing him in any of the chat rooms either.
Yeah, he was sitting there in one of them. But if he pops back up, we'll try to grab him. But I mean, for now, Chuck, if you sit in one of those channels, if you're able to sit in any of those channels where I can see you, I'll pull you in. But gonna grab Dana Shepard. Hey, Dana, you got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, good job tonight, getting third. I know, a little rough there in the second half. Did you lose the draft just solely based on pit stops, or did something else happen?
No, it was that pit stop. Guys were just way too aggressive there, and I'm not in the playoffs, so I'm not looking to wreck people. But it did kill me on my time, so I came out about 9/10 of a second off, so I wasn't going to keep the draft.
Well,
Yeah,
still podium finish, and it may not be, you may have wanted to get the opportunity to race with those guys, but still really good finish. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh no, I was just gonna say he was running back there for a while by himself after that pit flag sequence, and then finally got caught up with some of the draft, lap down draft cars, if you will. But he was staying in front of there. Did you have any? If that yellow flag didn't come out, were you hoping that you could at least make it back up to the draft of that lead pack, or did you just figure you didn't have enough time left at that point?
Yeah, no, we didn't have enough time, and we really weren't staying very well organized. The guys they didn't really draft well. would stick their noses out, kind of slowed the momentum down, and some of them had some nose damage, so I was trying to push them along with me, but running a lot of drafting leagues here, I kind of knew what to do, and I needed them to work with me better. That was all.
Now, when that yellow flag came out and then you found yourself back up there, was it a matter of trying to find someone that would go with you and stay low, or is you just didn't have enough there on the bottom to be able to like just get in there and give them like to get underneath Chuck and just give them a run for it at the end?
You can't here with this new configuration. The bottom is a pinch line. It's too tight. Particularly when you've got to run in those tires, they don't turn or grip like you want. So the guys on the outside just have more momentum, and you're just along hoping for a gap. But I guess a couple guys got a little over aggressive there, and I stayed on the safe line.
Yeah. What'd you think about the surprise with Brian Boyd? Oh, that was a surprise for me too. And Ethan, it was like, wait a minute, like who's there? It's Brian Boyd.
That was the thing is, I was oddly enough, Brian and I were just chatting today a little bit. I had a new monitor try to fire up, and I had issues. So he's like, I have something going on. Didn't say anything more. So I almost didn't stay in the session because I couldn't get the monitor to work correct, and I just blindly figured it out. And the guys are like, Brian Boyd's here. I'm like, well, maybe he's going up in the broadcast booth. Maybe I don't. And all of a sudden, there's his car. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
That was great. Oh, that was great. No, I couldn't believe it either. As soon as Ethan said something, I was like, I can only imagine what all the drivers were thinking when they saw him pop in. I was like, oh boy, I didn't know anything, so everybody else is going to be surprised too.
We all thought we were in trouble. We're like, oh boy, he's that's all he's looking for is the wins. He wants the wins. He wants to lead. He wants to, that's how he is. And the problem with Atlanta is it's such a tricky track now. It's not a super speedway.
But it drives like it, but it's like an intermediate. I was saying that at the beginning of the race. You're absolutely right.
Correct. I mean, any league I've run here, with this new, it's a tire. You still wear out the tires. It isn't like Daytona, Talladega. It's not. You can't keep running just fuel only stops. You cannot overdrive these corners here, and there is a trick to it. And I've figured it out a little while ago. So I try to keep that in my pocket.
Always having an advantage or having something inside that that will help you is always a good thing. Great job tonight. So glad that you were able to podium. I know a lot of the fans out there that were watching were excited that you were on the podium. Even Derek had a great, strong showing tonight too. So we're all proud of him and every driver here at TDR. So congrats on the third place, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I definitely, hopefully I'm more awake. I'm on about 2 hours of sleep right now after my stints last night, so I think I'm gonna head to bed.
Good night, Dana. Yeah, I feel you. I ran mine on the first session, so I feel you. My arms are still feeling like jello, so I hope you get some good rest, friend.
I will, and thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And thank Depp for all of his work for us. DEP does great paints for these guys and supports us and jumps in the chats with us. It really motivates us. So. And then to all the family, everybody that's watching, rooting for us, we thank you all.
All right, Dana, have a good night.
All right, see you, Dana.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
All right, we finally have him. Technical difficulties, but he's here.
What's up, Chuck?
What's that?
What's up, Chuck? Congratulations, buddy. How's that feel?
It feels good for a change.
Good for you. Good for you. You ran out of gas at the end on the donuts, but man, we're all happy for you on that P1 spot. I'm glad you were able to get it here tonight. Good for you.
Well, I was looking forward to that race, and I've won there before, and the whole thing about that track is get to the high line and don't leave it.
Well, you definitely did a great job of that. And how concerned were you there at the end and what those guys were going to do behind you?
Well, I said it during the race. I said, what sucks about this is you know what's coming, you just don't know when. And when that caution happened with a couple laps to go, I was concerned near the end because fuel. And as soon as that caution came out, I just shut the car off and coasted. That's the only thing to save me, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it worked because look at the end result, a P1 finish, and you were just dominant like almost all night there. You just held on to that lead, avoided all the wrecks and carnage, and just dominated all night. So I'm glad
It's
that feels good for you.
yeah, Atlanta. You get the high line and do not leave it. Even if it's empty down below you, stay in the high line.
Yeah, yeah, it seemed that worked for you tonight. It really did
Yes,
work
sir.
for you.
Hmm. It's
Well,
all
you
good.
got a really good shot now to get into the final four, make a run at the championship. All you got to do is just come out, have at least a halfway decent finish, and it should be all you need.
I like. I guess you could see the team and I had this race checked off because I knew that's where I had to do good was tonight, and it worked out. It's all good.
All right, Chuck. Congrats again, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. I'll be here. And stay off the news, everyone.
Oh, something we should know.
No, no, just stay off the news. Don't get in trouble and get caught.
Oh, God, you stay out. Don't make us be. Oh, I'm like going to CNN right now.
Yep.
What did we miss during the broadcast?
No,
No
no.
problem. I promise you, I will keep my nose clean. I absolutely promise you that.
Have a good one, all.
You,
All right, see
you
you,
too,
Chuck.
Chuck. Take care. Ethan, can you bring Brian? Yeah, we got to get Brian in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian,
What's up, gentlemen?
we can barely hear you.
How about now?
It's a little bit better.
I don't know what to tell you there, sunshine. It's right up against my mouth. I'm almost chewing it.
Let me
That's
see, let me
okay. Hey,
turn you
meow.
up.
What's going on?
You gave us
Oh,
a bit of a surprise
Surprise?
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking about it and seen the track, and I mean, I didn't expect to get hooked in the right rear like I did. The second time, the first time was my fault. I completely pinched the 8 car, and it was on me. But the second time, I think I got deliberately turned.
I hate to hear that because you're always a very strong, very strong driver here, keeping, helping other drivers and stuff like that there. So I hate to hear that. Man, was it a great surprise to just Ethan's like, who is that in that car? I'm like, well, that's not Brian's paints. That's kind of weird. And we've been having all kinds of trading paints, weird things tonight. And then, yeah, sure enough, man, there you are, man. It was so good to see you tonight. I just was, concerned, wanted to make sure you're going to be good for it, but
I
man, you
turned
made.
down I turned down the pressure on the rig. Figured I'd try it out. It's not bad. I have to run a way tighter steering pinion because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting as much force feedback out of the wheel. And I
Mm-hmm.
could tell it, and I could feel it in the car. Like if the car felt fast, it's just 2 times I got myself in bad positions. One time was my fault. One time was completely the other person's fault.
Mm-hmm. Well, it,
We'll
it,
we'll
it
we'll
does
leave it to
happen.
admins and see if they do the right thing or the wrong thing. If they don't, then uh, that's what they got griefs for, or not griefs, but rivalries, right?
Some of the best ones that happen in NASCAR and baseball. So I do have to agree with you there. But man, it was just good to see you tonight. I'm glad the arm's feeling, good enough to be able to do that. Force feedback. I mean, I even did that in the 24-hour race because it was just too much. So yeah, and I had to readjust myself a little bit. I had to do it on the fly. So,
I'm
but I
still I'm
I
still
can
waiting for
tell
my
that.
surgeries, but
Yeah.
right now I'm on the books for I think 5 surgeries, but I turned it down from 70% force feedback down to 30.
Hmm.
It didn't feel too bad, really. The car felt really responsive and stuff, but like I said, I had to run a really tight pinion. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Well, you're just making adjustments on the fly. I mean, it's a part of racing sometimes,
oh,
So,
that's what I was doing. I was dialing things on the, but when I just wanted to prove that I could still run with the front pack, even though I was countless laps down, and I did. And then I tried to pull back to go back to Dana Shepard, to try and work with him, and then I noticed I had like 2 or 3 laps of fuel, so I just
yeah,
said, oh, all right, and then pulled back, went
right.
ahead and got fuel and called it a day.
Well, I
But
tell you, it was great to see you. I do hope, everything works out. Maybe we can see you back, more here and there. Love to have you up in the booth on a night or something like that still. So,
yeah,
please keep around. We love seeing having you around, Bry.
I appreciate it. Racing will definitely be hit or miss. Either I'll show up or I won't. It's all going to be dependent on how my shoulders feel.
No,
They're pretty.
well, that's
They're
the
pretty
that's the
messed
great
up.
thing about Tyler Daniels Racing, Brian, and you know that already. You can come in when you need to. You don't have to commit to anything
Oh,
seriously, and you just come and have fun.
oh! I got to call this out to the admins because I know the admins will go back and look at it. I'm pretty sure, and I think Ethan, you're an admin, correct?
Yes.
I've been in this league for going on 3 years, and I've had the 78 for all those 2 years. I'm not giving up the 78 number, so someone's gonna have to call that one out.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's just I think someone's driven it in just the absence, but obviously we can take care of it.
10-4. I'm just not entertaining the thought of changing everything I got. No, sir.
No, it's not. It's not going to be a problem. I mean, we've seen obviously a 78 been driven lately, but um, it just wasn't a giant priority at the time,
Yeah,
just because we
absolutely.
didn't know when or if you were coming back. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm gonna hop off of here and relax. Get ready for bed. Got a long day tomorrow.
Sounds good. I
All
think
right,
we're about to
Brian.
do
Good
the
to see
same.
you back out there.
Hey, thanks, gentlemen.
You got it, man. Take care.
Yes, sir.
All right, that is going to conclude all of our interviews. We're going to get things wrapped up for the evening. Pull up our race results from tonight. And we've got Chuck McDonald getting the win. Uh, really good spot for him getting to the next round, as well as Ryan Walter in second, Dana Shepard third, Joseph Cossey in fourth, Lonnie Mixon fifth, Jeremy Gaiman in sixth, Marty Brown seventh, Ty Bostic eighth, Mike Matherly ninth, Robert Trask 10th, Tracy Wooten 11th, Bob Burlew 12th, Corey Enyart 13th, Jim Downham had a little bit of a rough race tonight. He finishes 14th, Derek Donna 15th, Jorge Rincon 16th, Dale Power 17th, Brian Boyd in 18th. Then we had Gary Wright 19th, Bryson Caldwell 20th, Owen Lax 21st, and Benjamin Richards 22nd. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end it. Appreciate everybody coming and watching. Thanks, Josh, as always, for being a part of the broadcast team. Look forward to seeing what we're able to do moving forward once we get you and Lonnie situated and up to speed on how all this stuff works. And hopefully we can continue to grow it, get even more people wanting to be involved, and who knows, for it, we could have a broadcast every night. It just depends on who wants to be involved and help and things of that nature. So
Exciting times in the broadcast area and for Tyler Daniels Racing League. It's opening up doors and possibilities to things that weren't there before, and we'll be able to do awesome things. I mean, on top of the action that we bring you here weekly, every day weekly, there's like the endurance teams. So a lot of people were wanting to keep up to date with the endurance teams, which I was very surprised and shocked about myself. Just through Facebook, people were like, "Oh, that's great," keep just the minor updates. So I'm sure a lot of people would love to see a lot of that being done, and a lot of opportunities. So it's an exciting time at Tyler Daniels Racing League with the broadcast opportunities, and I hope to see more people come forward and want to do it. It's fun. I'll have to say it's definitely fun. I'm no professional in this. I don't know a thing or two about a thing or two, so I'm looking forward to learning the ins and outs of it. But if anybody's interested, if I can do it, I think you can do it too. So if you're showing any interest or even a thought about it, talk to Ethan. I'm sure he'd love to have you and show you some things. Come on forward and let us know. But on that note, I hope everybody has a great week. I know Ethan will have some broadcasts going on this week with tomorrow night. The icons here. We doing that one? Are you going to be broadcasting that?
We got the IROC series tomorrow.
IROC series, yep.
At let's see where.
Hickory.
Hickory.
I think.
Yeah,
I have to get that track. You just
that'll
reminded
be a doozy of a race for sure. And then.
Oh yeah, I'm starting in the back. There you go. I'll just let everybody know now. I'll be not even qualified. I've never raced it once, so that's gonna be fun.
Tuesday we're gonna be at Pocono for the Truckin' Tuesday series.
Cool.
And Wednesday, to my knowledge, there is no official league race. We finished up the season last week. I think we're taking a week off. They may throw up a fun race. I'm not 100% sure, but I got a feeling they're just going to take a week off. So Wednesday may be nothing, and then that might be it for this week. Just tonight, Monday, Tuesday. So we'll see how things go, but I look forward to seeing everybody else throughout this week. Thanks again, and you all have a good one. See you, Josh.
Bye, Ethan. Everybody be well. Be safe.